Hello and welcome to another League of Legends video, and in this one it's time for our annual How to Get Diamond video. Every year I like to iterate and build on the previous videos that we've had to give you the best ways that you can get diamond now and forever. I know I'm really not being hyperbolic. I really think the tips in these videos every year relevant to the game state, the meta, as well as general tips that can help you in any role are the best way for you to succeed and climb quickly. In the past we've looked at micro mechanics, playing on the strong side, avoiding finesse comms, using your proactivity in a variety of ways, increasing your awareness, and more. As always, if you do these things consistently in Diamond as well, you should have no issue getting through the darkness that lies beyond and reaching that master tier. These won't be simple things that we have in general tutorials, much more something that applies to every player. So if you enjoy these videos and you're looking for Diamond and beyond in this season, consider leaving a like and of course please subscribing if you do enjoy the content and would like some more. Don't forget, Patreon has all my coaching VODs as well as coaching availability. And now without hesitation, let's begin. First up, this is going to be something very general that can help literally anyone of any rank, because in the Discord, in coaching, on Twitter, you always see people post these amazing KDAs. They have 20 plus kills, maybe a few deaths, a lot of assists, and there's one lizard on their team that just decided, you know what, today is not my day and I refuse to win. Then you look at the match history, you look at the KDAs, you look at the farming. You see the next game they didn't perform as well. You need to elevate your mental capacity to monk mental, Himalayan consistency. Take the baboon mental and throw that like the feces you would throw if you were said monkey. Without this one step, you will never be able to climb, and I need you to all acknowledge it. I've told the junglers this before, but you might not be the reason you lose a game, but you can still be the reason you didn't win. I love this tweet by Challenger Ringer player on E West saying, you know, I love carrying a game 1v9ing it, you make one mistake and then you lose. Yeah, that feels bad because honestly, that is the reason you lost the game. Yeah, could the rest of your team have played well? Sure. Could they have decided to not int and maybe supported you as the win condition? Of course. If you are not consistency incarnate and understand your own play, where it's good, where it's bad, you have the perfect opportunity to watch the world players come to EU playing on elos way beneath their skill level. They have to get through the D4 to D1 range, and they do so without hesitation, at least most of them. Look at their match histories, you're seeing disgusting KDAs. But guess what? They lose games. However, these are the 10 to 20% of games that are simply unwinnable, no matter what. But the rest we have control over to a large degree, whether it's being the 1A carry, the 1B carry, or simply the supportive jungler that's needed to peel. If you play like you play when you drop that 20 kill bomb, and you do that every single game, please understand that you will win significantly more than you will lose. The first aspect of all climbing is to be consistent. Record your POV, record your VODs, have a look at the replays, compare them to those challenger players, compare them to the world's players going through now, whether it's Faker, Caynon, or what have you. And the biggest thing is, and this is the second point, the further down you go in Diamond and the further down you go below Diamond, yes, they are less consistent, but they also more consistently make mistakes, which you can exploit the closer you come to the promised land. And on that note, if you want Diamond, and it's very simple, exploit the windows of opportunity that are given to you by your lane opponent, by the enemy jungler, by bad decisions, by bad engages. Are you at the wrong place? Are you on the wrong side? Is your back timing bad? Did you simply miss a Herald secure? Are your spells on cooldown? The world's junglers, mid laners, top laners, they are 100% taking advantage of Diamond players with these mistakes, and junglers who do not do those things, for top laners and mid laners who do not rotate. Supports, if you have tempo prior but you don't use it, the enemy support, especially if they're one of the pro players or a challenger player, will punish you by getting that deep roam with the enemy jungler. They will start to take over the map, and all of a sudden your laners have to deal with not only the jungler, but the enemy support because you missed your window to stamp your foot on the game. Playing off of your team with regards to robes and making plays is a huge aspect of why games feel like they can simply open at 15. One team just does it better than the other, and that whole feeling can be accomplished by one player exploiting a mistake from the enemy team. For junglers, we know this all too well. If they go to the wrong side of the map, we get a free objective. If they don't track you and go to the wrong side of the map trying to counter jungle you, there will be no camps up, and now you can counter jungle them, secure an objective, dive their top laner. And guess what? If you are Diamond and below, don't bring forth the argument that, well, they just don't make mistakes. How do I exploit them if they don't make mistakes? They 100% do, and that's why the world's players are simply dismantling them as they climb really quickly. It also simply means that you haven't learned to identify those mistakes. Coaching, watching gameplays, studying the VODs from their perspective versus your perspective, this can give you a huge clue about what you should look for in your respective elo to make sure you can take over every game. Now, a third point is, if you are consistent, if you've nailed this down, if you are just having great KDAs, super high kill participation, more CS per minute than a Karthus who's on Pervitin, and yet despite all of this, you can't figure out, why am I not climbing? Why am I coin flipping and losing games despite the very real evidence that you are simply a better player than those you are facing? In essence, why are you possibly not only an MVP gamer, but also an ace machine? And because none of you will understand a Top Gun reference, I'm not even going to bother. And this is where coaching can come in to sort of identify what exactly is going wrong, but I can give you a few very simple tips that will help you think about and fix these coin flip results. To paraphrase Arnold from Pumping Iron, I'm a nice guy, I'm going to give you some advices. Let's delve deeper. First question, how is your kill conversion ratio throughout the game? Obviously you're fighting a lot, obviously you're doing a lot of good things. You've got good farm, high KDAs, high kill participation, you are rotating to skirmishes better than any Korean jungler ever has, or ever will have. A lot of the times these fights can go your way. You can use your mechanical prowess and your savant level understanding of your champion to turn fights in your favor, but instead of doing the dragon, instead of counter jungling and stealing a blue, instead of pushing a tower like a good Rusty boy should, you have decided that no, you're gonna go back to your jungle or go back to base. This is passive, this will not help you. You can check this metric in your stats, but really look very deeply at your dragon ratio, your herald ratio. Are you timing the first dragon with the first herald? If the enemy jungler decides to make a mistake, you kill them, and it's 8 minutes, why aren't you doing the herald and then falling back and trying to secure the dragon? And yes, this happens a lot in D4, and why D4 junglers get stuck. Because even though they're consistent, because even though they are doing the right thing every game, they are simply not exploiting the mistakes to the fullest potential of other diamond junglers. They are not thinking about the flow of the game. By this I mean when you take something from them and you make a good play, just like that example I put out in a video recently where I was Desire support playing with a friend who was Rek'Sai jungle. Yes, he ganked bot early, but as the support and him as the jungler, we need to be of one glorious mindset. I decide I'm gonna drive by the skull crab, I'll help a little bit. If you're a Karthus, I will definitely E it for you, I'm kind that way. Move to the mid lane, you make a gank. Understand that the Caynon leaves a window for us to counter jungle and kill him. Now most junglers, most supports will not look at this as a cutthroat moment. I see it as, yes it is. Very much so. He started bot side, his second tier Raptors are up, he shows by mistake, he gets chunked by the Zyra, myself, he goes down to his Raptors, let's go, let's kill him, it's very free, it's very easy. Bottom lane has not reacted, they're not looking at the map, their awareness is down because they did not watch last year's video, and that's even more kills. And I'm repeating this example purely because it's such a good one for how you can win the game and the map, and really all it took was two players understanding that we need to do this every single game. If someone makes a mistake and we don't take an opportunity to exploit it, we're missing the opportunity to take a lead. And by extension, that lead lets us secure further leads, and when you add up all your little leads, it becomes a W. And yes, when you keep this pace up as a jungler, as a support, as a mid laner who likes to roam, as a top laner who understands early TPs and their power, and from this opens up the window now to do it again and look for the objectives. Diamond 4 junglers are pretty bad at this, but so are Platinum junglers. They'll make these sort of plays maybe one time every few games instead of every game, but instead of continuing that and being consistent about it and then securing objectives at any given turn, they're just patting themselves on the back more than a monk who self-flagellates in the Middle Ages. Come on, keep the pressure up, the game pace is fast. Have you noticed when you play a Smurf how fast things are? This is why. The second part of this third point is that your team fighting and target selection is a fundamental curse for every single player. ADCs, I guarantee you your target selection is also bad. You know when things rush at you and you look at the backline squishy and you try and take that, why are you walking through a bunch of fighters? Attack what's in front of you, kite back. Assassins, I know you would love to just run straight at the enemy ADC, but you know, some of them have disengage spells, some of them can kite you out and slow you, some of them even have CC on their ultimates. How about we look for some flanks? Or if you know your team gets separated and then their team gets separated, why don't we just collapse and do a little bit of damage peel and squish your targets who are diving your carries? Tanks and fighters, I know straight up that you are not engaging at the right time. Sometimes you're just kind of flashing or flying over a wall. Your team can't follow you. It's great that you nailed the 5-man ultimate, but if no one can stack CC and burn them down while they're CC'd, what was the point? And very frequently, if you are having these kind of games as you see in this match history where you have great MVPs, great aces, and great KDAs, watch your VODs, look at your team fighting, look at your target selection. I guarantee you, if your kill conversion ratio is more suboptimal and lower than an anti-vaxxer's IQ level, and you're not focusing very heavily on your team fight target selection and understanding what the win condition is and where you need to lay your CCs and when you need to be patient, that is definitely two of the biggest reasons why you're not winning those games despite playing consistently well. The fourth point here is if that is not your issue and you are doing those things in well, or at least you're somewhat convinced that you are, then highly probably you are not continuously pushing the map towards the nexus when you are doing everything so far. If you have leads, use them. See the video I just released. See the gameplay video on Rust. When they have leads, no one's falling back to farm the Krugs to get one more item. No one's taking the second Herald and going back to base to maybe use it somewhere else. They're looking to push it directly. They're looking to make sure that they can close the game as soon as possible. Does it matter that they scale? No, they've got a huge lead. We played the early game perfectly. Why would we delay winning the game? If you're looking to get to diamond, the biggest problem the lower you go is that the average game times go up. Because in low elo, they have no idea how to push the map forward. And while gold is really bad at the previous things in this video, platinum is extremely bad at this point. They will sometimes get leads simply by coin flipping trades in the mid lane. They will get leads by stupid invades and what have you. But then there are those junglers who simply get great leads every single game consistently because they simply understand the game. But then they relinquish the pressure. They do not push the map forward at every turn. Why are people going back at different times? If you're a top laner, why are you going back when the rest of your team is looking to impact? Why is the ADC split pushing on the top side when there's a dragon available? Why, when you could have a 1-3-1 with TP advantage, are your team not setting this up and instead being picked off trying to take a gromp? Think deeply about it. Whenever you have a good early game lead, whenever you are winning in the mid game, and if this happens for you frequently, ensure that you are always pushing the map forward. Don't fall back to your jungle. Take their jungle, push their towers, stay out. It's something that Korean junglers are very good at, that Agurin on EUS is very good at because he plays a more map control farm focused style. Whenever he has these leads, he can snowball it insanely quickly. He's more interested in pushing the map, pushing the towers, pushing the inhibs, and getting to that nexus than he is just, waffling around for no particular reason. If you are interested in that, come to Belgium, we have waffles everywhere. And finally, a very important point for you all. Jungle and map tracking is not just for junglers. Junglers, I know I talk about this a lot, but it's also very important that you understand the implications of tracking supports with relevance to your jungling. It's so important for laners to understand that their trades relevant to where the jungler is also just as important. If you go in at a bad time and die to a jungler despite the fact that there was wards, it was pinged out, you know their first clear, you know where they started, that's because you didn't pay attention. That's not jungle difference. That's on you as a laner. If your jungler's doing the same thing to the bottom lane and their bottom lane backs up because they understood to ward and play safer, then you are the difference here, not the jungler. And junglers, being able to track the enemy allows you to path properly and set up counter ganks while using point 2 of this video, those windows of opportunity to punish mistakes. And you can get 2 to 3 level leads with any jungler simply by tracking where they're going. And if you don't know where they're going because they're doing giga random nonsense, then react to where they show and try and predict from there. Be there for the laners like you expect them to be there for you on crabs. This is why mids die to support roams just as much, because they not only do not track the jungler, they don't track the support either. They're not looking when there's a 2v2 victory, when there's a jungle ganking, when their bottom lane is going back to base after they've killed the enemy bottom laner. Guess what? If I kill 2v2 bottom lane and push the wave and then go back to base, if it's very early, the enemy support's gonna spawn first, and because there's no reason to go bottom lane and she can give solo experience to her ADC, the Leona is just very much gonna walk down and gank mid lane, and then rejoin bottom lane right after. It's vital that we all understand that as well as where the jungler is going to be. If you can do so and you can waste their time by these rotations and you can ward properly, you deny their ability to have any happiness, and whenever they show with information, you can extrapolate their next moves even if they don't know it, set traps. It's perfect for everyone if we elevate our overall map tracking to the next level. And there you have it. Yes, I use a lot of jungle and support examples, but it does work for every single role. Understand that these things are the most important for those of you looking to get diamond and for those of you who are looking to survive in diamond, and very much is one of the biggest reasons why the world's players climb with ease to get to Master Plus, because they're hitting all these things all the time, and it's what takes you as a player to the next level to get better at League of Legends. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and comment if you did enjoy and learn something. Head to the gameplay if you like full VOD reviews for whatever jungler you might imagine. As I said before, I have coaching VODs and a lot of information always accessible on Patreon for you, as well as coaching signups. Keep those beards juiced, fresh, oiled, and smooth, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.